Histology is the study of tissue. When you put together a group of cells, you're going to get this tissue. There are four primary tissues: epithelial, connective, nervous tissue, as well as muscular tissue. Epithelial tissue is composed of layers with different kinds of cells, and they're going to perform multiple different functions, such as covering organs, surfaces, form glands, etc. Connective tissue is a type of tissue that will allow you to provide support, bind, and protect organs, such as, for example, in the case of tendons. Nervous tissue is tissue specialized in transmitting information from one cell to another, and obviously you'll find that in the nerves. And muscular tissue is the one that has specialized cells that are going to perform contractions, such as the skeletal muscle. Epithelial tissue has multiple different functions: protection, secretion, excretion, absorption, filtration, and sensation. How do you get these tissues? The tissues are formed based on cells. What type of cells can we have? We can have flat cells. The flat cells like this, they are called squamous. We can have cells that look like cubes. And there are cells that are going to look like columns. You have one layer of cells, it's called simple. You have multiple layers of cells, stratified. You combine the number of layers as well as the cell shape in order to identify the type of tissue. For example, simple squamous. Simple squamous means one layer squamous cells. Simple cuboidal, one layer, the cell looks like a cube. Simple columnar, one layer, the cell looks like columns. Let's talk about pseudostratified. Pseudostratified is the type of tissue that appears to be stratified, but it is not. The only thing is that in this case, the cells have multiple lengths, and because of that, the nucleus are going to be at different levels. Then it appears that you have multiple different layers, but it is not. It's just one layer. Now we have finished with simple epithelium. Now let's take a look at stratified epithelium. You're going to have stratified squamous, that means flat cells, multiple layers. Stratified cuboidal, the cells look like cubes, multiple layers. Stratified columnar, the cells look like columns, and you have multiple layers. Another one is transitional epithelium. When your urinary bladder is empty, these cells are going to look like cubes. But when your urinary bladder is full with urine, these cells will have to expand in order to accommodate the amount of urine that is in your urinary bladder. Figures regarding the epithelial tissue. So right here you have simple squamous, simple, one layer, squamous, flat cells. Take a look at this figure now. In this case, it's one layer of cells. Okay, but in here the cells are cube. In this case, this is simple cuboidal. These cells are like columns. You can see here you have one layer. So therefore, this is simple columnar. In here, you have pseudostratified. All the cells here start at the same level. But if you look at this nucleus right here, and this nucleus right here, it appears that you have two layers of cells again. Why? Because it's one layer of nucleus and this is another layer of nucleus. But it is not, because all the cells start at the same level. So therefore, what is this? This is pseudo-stratified. The next tissue, these are going to be flat cells, therefore they are squamous, and you have multiple layers. So therefore, this is stratified squamous. We can see here that this is a stratified cuboidal. You have two layers of cells. One cell, two cells, cuboidal. Stratified columnar. The cells look like columns, and you have multiple layers. Right here, transitional epithelium. The cells are going to have multiple different shapes and sizes. For example, in the case of the urinary bladder.